Factsverse presents. These creepy small towns actually exist in America, and you can visit them. There are millions of towns all over the world, but some are much stranger than most. These creepy small towns actually exist in America, and you can go see them for yourself. Centralia, Pennsylvania. Before 1981, Centralia was your typical small town, and about 1,000 people were living there. By 2010, there were less than a dozen people living there. In 1962, a coal mine fire started burning beneath the town, and since then the town has been plagued with sinkholes, toxic smoke, and gas. By 2010, less than a dozen people were still living there because of the conditions. The highway is too hot to touch. Experts believe the fire is going to continue burning for at least another 250 years. So if you're thinking about moving there, don't. The state seized the town in 1992 and condemned it. They did allow the few residents that were there to stay, but when they're gone, Centralia will be gone as well. MONOWI, Nebraska. There is one person who lives in this town. Her name is Elsie Eiler, and she used to live there with her husband, Rudy. When he died in 2004, she became the only resident of MONOWI, Nebraska. So she is the mayor, the town bartender, and the librarian. She even pays taxes to herself. Since she's so old, the town might soon be abandoned. Whittier, Alaska. This is a small town about 58 miles from Anchorage. The population of the town is 214, and they all live in the same building. It used to be an army barracks, and today it's home to all of the town's residents. Also in the building is a police station, a store, a church, a video rental store, a playground, a bed and breakfast, and a gym, all in the same building. They never have to leave the walls of that building. For some, this sounds like a very strange way to live. But it's Alaska, and really, who wants to go outside in the winter? COLMA, California. There are 1,200 people living in this town. What makes it so strange, though, is that there are 17 cemeteries in the town's 2 square miles. It's been dubbed the City of Souls. There are over 2 million dead people buried here. Miracle Village, Florida. If you have children, you don't want to move to this town. It was created by a minister named Richard Withrow, and it's home to over 100 registered sex offenders. Richard worked in the prison system for 30 years and decided to create a town where sex offenders could live away from the public. It's best to stay far away from this town. The Villages, Florida, is a town that many people retire to. There are 70,000 residents living here, and there is an STD epidemic. The town is proof that your sex life doesn't end when you retire, and these residents are just apparently jumping from bed to bed. Gibsonton, Florida. There are 14,234 people living in this town as of the last census count, and most of them are carnival workers and sideshow human attractions. There was a time when the police chief here was a dwarf, and the fire chief was an 8-foot-tall giant at the same time. This town is where carnies go to retire. HILDALE, Utah. This town is also known as Polygamyville. It's where the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is headquartered, and most of the residents are married to multiple people. Roswell, New Mexico. In 1947, residents of Roswell claimed to have seen a UFO crash. The military claimed that it was a weather balloon, but the residents disagree. The town is known for UFOs, and it's home to many extraterrestrial conspiracy theories. You can visit alien-themed restaurants and hotels. You can even talk to people there who claim to have seen aliens and even been abducted. The good news is that the tourist industry here is thriving. Santa Claus, Arizona. This is an abandoned town on Route 66. It was once a booming tourist destination, and it was open all year. You could visit Cinderella's dollhouse and the Santa Claus Inn. They also had a post office where kids could send their letters to Santa. When the letters were answered, they were postmarked St. Nick. Well, by the mid-70s, Route 66 was traveled less, causing the town to sadly shut down. It's been deserted ever since. Nameless, Tennessee. This town is called Nameless because when the town applied for a post office, they left the name of the town blank on the form. When it was approved, the town was officially dubbed Nameless. Maharishi Vedic City, Iowa. This town is strange because every house in the town looks exactly the same. Town officials wanted every building in the town to reflect the Maharishi Veda, which is the ancient architecture of Hindu yogis. There are 250 people living here, and all of their homes are exactly the same. Tangier, Virginia. The people in this town have an accent like no other place in the U.S. The locals have an accent that is a mix of an American accent with a mix of Old British twang. It's believed that the Founding Fathers had this accent, and it just stuck. Casey, Illinois. This is a small town that is full of very big things. There's a pencil that stands 32 feet 6 inches, a rocking chair that's 56 feet tall. At least 8 items in the town have been certified by the Guinness Book of World Records. What's the strangest town you've ever been to? Tell us about your experience in the comments, and subscribe for more.